from an historical perspective of how you got to the point that you are in owning so many assets that the county purchased but are actually used by many of the municipalities as far as radios go. There's also an interlocal included for the City of Oviedo Fire Department. There again, it obligated the county to purchase those assets to provide to the City of Oviedo, which came onto the system several years back. I also provided to you a notice of an intent to award from state contract pricing, which identifies all the major providers of 800 megahertz radio equipment, handhelds and mobiles, and the current state pricing for like models across the board. And then a summary of my slide presentation initially. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have on any of the information I provided you, and I realize that it's quite a bit. Commissioner Henley?
Hi. Sorry.
John and I were waiting patiently.
Taking notes and having a sidebar with the attorney here. So. Okay. I'm going to take seniority first since I didn't see whose hand went up first.
I cannot tell a lie. His hand was up first.
Commissioner Henley.
That's because he likes to follow me.
Yes, I want to make sure that I say the right thing.
Well, so. You do follow the elderly, right?
All right. Let's try to stay on track here. We got a lot to do today.
Thank you, ma'am. Tad, I've seen several and heard several projections about the ultimate cost of this transition or this migration. I would like to have staff's perspective now, since I've seen one. I don't think you generated it, was but $37.5 million to make this all, and then we had the gentleman from Mr. Harris saying, if I understood him correctly, that he's talking about $15 million and so forth in here. So do you, or have you and staff prepared what you feel would be the maximum cost on this total migration system?
It's really a very difficult question for me to try to answer, but I will do my best. I believe that the migration for the backbone, which will include all the base stations, replacement of antennas, lines, all the components that are associated with that, the microwave system, and the consoles at the end of the day, and you'll have to excuse me because no matter who it is, we would have to negotiate a price.
Right.
I have to give you a spread of about $4 million. I think it's going to be somewhere between $15 and $19 million to replace the entire backbone for the entire system. Mm-hmm. Now, the user, the subscriber side, is really up to the individual agencies on how dynamic they want those individual assets to be. Mm-hmm. You can go with a very low-end radio, handheld and mobile. Doesn't have to be Motorola. At the very end of the day, doesn't have to be Motorola. Doesn't have to be. It can be any one of the vendors. I would recommend we at least purchase off a state contract price or use that as the base pricing. But I don't know that a dump truck in Public Works they don't need a high-end radio at the end of the day. They can go with a low-end radio, even from another manufacturer, when we get all the way to the end of P25 conversion. And they can buy them, stockpile them, we'll install them all at the end of the day. If you just used a ballpark and rounded it out at $3,000, $3,500, and you've probably got just a wild guess of about 2,000 user units that you would probably have to replace to be up and running fully. That's because when I go back to our inventory, we've got an awful lot of stuff sitting on shelves, sitting in boxes, sitting in caches. So it's run the math from there.
So as soon as we go to the P25 radio, it will work with any of the consoles, whether it would be Motorola or other. Are the consoles still proprietary?
No, consoles aren't proprietary. On the front end, the user side of it, there's nothing proprietary. I mean, with P25, that eliminates some of that proprietary issue. Okay. Proprietary issues are all on the backside.
Well, this is not the first time that I and Commissioner Vanderwide haven't been here before to hear these migration talks, so to speak. And it always bothered me that the present system we're with, the owner